Hey there, creative friend. I wanted to share what I do with my text blocks because I have lots of them that are sitting around after I've cut up the cover or cut out the cover to use them to build new books. I have a lot of the textbooks sitting around and I can't just toss them in the recycling. So one of them is dedicated to all of my little bits. I call it my collage dump book because I also seem to have a little bit of a problem hoarding all of these little bits. Since I do a lot of collage work, especially in my junk journal or my art journals, I use all sorts of different kinds of papers. But if the papers are beautiful, I don't necessarily want to throw them out if they are over a certain size. The certain size being probably about an inch by a half inch. I have been known to keep something smaller if it's extra beautiful, especially if it has cool mark making on it. But one thing that I do with all of my little bits, since they can add up pretty quickly, is put them in this book. So what I do is I tear out a few pages from the book because I'm going to be layering it and making each page thicker. So tearing out a few pages allows for more room to glue things in without totally destroying the spine. And then I just start gluing. I dump out my box of bits onto a tray, or I work right from my box of bits. If you have watched my studio tour, you can see those and how I sort them. But I find that this is also a practice that can get me out of creative funks or get me making something if I don't necessarily have inspiration. Or sometimes, you don't really have the motivation to actually make something. So this is something that gets my hands moving, turns my brain into a creative mode without it actually having to work super hard. And honestly, at the end of the session, it is productive because in gluing all of these little bits, I'm not necessarily making a finished piece by any means. I'm not making this into an art journal, but I am making fodder or more collage material to be able to use in my art journals or to use in my artwork. These pages can be taken out and cut into strips and made into kind of a faux washi tape. It would look pretty funky and have just strips of all these different colors and textures and letters and shapes. I could also cut them into tag shapes and they could be little inserts if I made a pocket in my journal. I could cut them into tags and use them as gift tags for presents. I could paint out the backside white with some gesso or something and be able to write a message on a gift tag there. It's more the practice of gluing all these bits down, turning off my brain from the problems of the world, that is the most beneficial to making these pages, as well as feeling like I'm utilizing all of my bits and they're not just ending up in the trash, because some of them still look too beautiful, like that strawberry paper. That's a handmade paper that's been printed with those strawberries. And yeah, it's only maybe 3 by 1 inches, but it to me is just too beautiful, and it's someone's artwork that work has gone into. And now it is just cherished there. So if you have an uncontrollable amount of little bits and nothing to do with them, but you also have text blocks sitting around after altering books, I encourage you to also make a collage dump book or a fodder building book and just start gluing things in and having fun, because it is fun. And you get to actually see all of the bits that you have that maybe you've forgotten about. You might find something in your pile that is perfect for another piece that you're working on, or another page in your art journal that you're working on. Or you might find a piece that would look beautiful on a canvas or on a panel. I do a lot of collage work on panels and it's part of my paintings. Or you just might have that piece that is still even too precious to glue into here. And you know what? You have my full permission to put it back in the pile and save it for later. So here's to some happy art making and some gluing of your little bits or not. And let me know if you want to try this. Thanks so much. Bye.